What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the CGS community, and welcome to our surprise video for our Tuesday conversation series going over Zelda Breath of the Wild, the Wii U, and the Nintendo Switch. Very excited about this conversation, so let's get straight to it. This is Crafty coming at you first with Breath of the Wild. Now, our tidbit on this is, first of all, there will be no spoilers for you at all. This is just a general overview on our thoughts of the game as a whole and its impact on both consoles. So do not worry about any story spoilers or anything of the sort. Those will be for our review specifically. Now, jumping straight into it on the Wii U side of this journey first, should have been a major comeback for the Wii U, and the main support to this argument is it sold like hotcakes for the Wii U. Honestly, for both systems, but for the Wii U specifically, it sold out just the same as it did the Switch, showing that if it had been developed with, a Wii U bundle, if they had really just showcased it for the Wii U, we could have seen a massive comeback. So for those of you who are wondering why I'm a little upset about this, I actually like the Wii U. I've always liked it as a system. I hated Nintendo's support for it. There was very little, and that is what kind of killed the Wii U. But we did start seeing some comebacks and potential from it. We saw Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U come out. We saw Hyrule Warriors, which is a fun little tidbit on it. We did see Twilight Princess and HD Remake come out for it, which was not really advertised, sadly, which would have also brought up some excitement. But then you see Zelda Breath of the Wild that pushes the Wii U to its absolute limits. And it can handle it pretty much just fine. It does have some, lag and stuff on the screen, but very little and only in certain spots. And what's great about this is it showed the Wii U had life still left in it. It still had that fight to give. And Nintendo instead just cut production on it here a while back. And that sucks. Honestly, this console clearly had at least a couple more years in it to lead up to a new console. And that's kind of why I'm a little biased in this conversation, because I'm a little upset on the Switch, and that's why I'm doing each one individually. Breath of the Wild should have been the major comeback we've all been waiting for on the Wii U, and it clearly had the support behind it. Honestly, Nintendo, if they had bundled it, has a major package to sell new consoles, maybe make a limited edition console, limited edition controller and stuff like that, we really would have seen a major comeback from the Wii U that hopefully could have been continued and exploited in other major games to come out and lead up to the Nintendo Switch as they start developing maybe a new Zelda game strictly for the Nintendo Switch launch to now phase away from the Wii U. I feel, and now, now we're going to move on to the Nintendo Switch, where I feel it is overhyped, unlike Breath of the Wild, which is worth every penny. The Nintendo Switch is basically the Wii U 1.5, and what I mean by that is internally, it pretty much has the same power as the Wii U. It is improved upon, I'm not going to lie, but not improved upon as if it was a brand new console leaving last generation behind. It's improved upon enough to make it okay for what you expect from today's current standards, but is really okay good enough for something that's going to cost you like $300 upwards out of the gate? Honestly, no. You look at the Xbox One or the PS4 and compare that to their Xbox 360 and PS3 generations, there were massive upgrades to argue why you should buy it, and people were still hesitant. Now you have the Nintendo Switch, and you honestly just kind of feel forced to buy it because, like I said, no more Wii U productivity is being done, and you don't want to miss out on new games coming out, as they are clearly rapidly trying to phase away from the Wii U. And before I hear, oh, but they made Zelda Breath of the Wild, like you said, for it, it was actually already being made for the Wii U and was instead ported to the Switch to meet that launch date. It was not made for the Switch and ported to the Wii U. If it was done that way, we would have seen a lot more problems on the Wii U side of things and far less problems on the Nintendo Switch, instead of both being met with an equal amount on just internal problems, not story or anything. Don't worry, the game is amazing. So yeah, going forward with that, the Nintendo Switch is absolutely overhyped. I would not personally recommend you to go buy it. If you have a Wii U, go buy Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. You're not missing out on anything. Nintendo Switch is something that should have happened in like 2 or 3 years with, like I said, its own launch titles coming out, the Wii U now being phased away from, and a much better business plan by Nintendo to properly support it and not just focus on the Nintendo 3DS. That is the problem with the Wii U, something I would hope that they've learned from, and we will see on Nintendo Switch, even though it is, honestly, in my opinion, released way too early. And not showcasing what it should have been. It should be at the Xbox One and PS4 vanilla specs. Honestly, it should be able to handle everything that they do just fine. They are being left behind right now by Project Scorpio and PS4 Pro. So we're already seeing that generation left behind, and Nintendo is still tailing that generation. They are not up at that standard, and that is not okay in our opinion. That is lazy, as their marketing this system has a massive overhaul and improvement, and it's not. It's a fun console. It is in every way the Wii U, just with better upgrades on the outside. You know, the gamepad's back, but you can support take away the controllers and you get a bigger screen. Better controller designs for a lot of them. And hopefully far more support on its games. But other than that, it is still genuinely the Wii U 1.5. And a lot of people bought the Nintendo Switch with Breath of the Wild, because they were excited for the console, genuinely, and that is completely fine. We're not saying you guys are idiots or anything like that. If you bought it, great. I'm glad that you guys are excited for this new console, as we are too. But a lot of people also bought it thinking that Breath of the Wild was made for that console and ported to the Wii U when it was the other way around. And so people are actually being left with some pretty negative reviews on Breath of the Wild online, saying, well, this game is, it's not meeting up with, the Nintendo Switch's power and blah, 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 blah. And that's because, well, it's a port. I mean, those issues will most likely be addressed, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's a port. You're going to have those issues. It wasn't made for the Nintendo Switch. It's kind of how it works when you're dealing with a port. Now, another kind of issue with the Nintendo Switch as well is it just a gimmick? Like the Wii U, play anywhere. We've already kind of seen that. Play anywhere in your home was the Wii U's thing. They had all the trailers showing the gamepad being moved around the house and stuff like that. And it is a fun gimmick, but the Wii U's thing is like they're trying to meet console with their Nintendo DS. And I can see the potential behind this. It is an interesting concept. And I think it's something that is overall going to be a kind of cool convenience. But what about just playing on your TV? Where is the main impact? As it is a console first. And I feel like Nintendo is just focusing on the gimmick side of this and not really going over, hey, this is what our console can do. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more of specifics on the console as we go forward. Hopefully more games that are designed for the Switch will really showcase its actual potential. But as of right now, I would say it's overhyped. If you're going to buy it because, the Wii U's longevity is gone and they're not producing anymore. Buy it because you were generally excited for the console. Do not buy it because you were excited for Zelda Breath of the Wild. Again, go get that for the Wii U if that's all you're looking for. There's no sense in spending that much money on just a game and purchasing the console. Unless you are, again, in that mindset where, Wii U's done, might as well get the console now. That's your own argument to have. I can't tell you what's right or wrong. But that is everything for today's conversation. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with our Nintendo Switch overview? Do you think it should have been delayed for another few years to make it at least up to Xbox One and PS4 vanilla specs? Do you think that Breath of the Wild should have just been the Wii U's comeback as well? Or do you think the way they did it is perfectly fine? And as well, on top of that, do you think the Nintendo Switch is going to have a better business and long-term lifespan than the Wii U did, with better support and hopefully better marketing? Let us know in the comment section below. If you are worried about public opinions being, hated on, send us an email, send us a direct message. We do check those every day, very frequently. Have no fear, we will get to you every time. This is Crafty signing off, you guys. Have a wonderful Tuesday again. And, stay tuned in. And remember, stay crafty.